Fala galera do YouTube, beleza? Amanda de volta com mais um vídeo de Genshin Impact. Voltamos para fazer a missão lendária Flor de Sal. Estamos na parte Adeus, Querido Sal. Temos que seguir na caverna que nós liberamos agora aqui. Vamos conhecer, sempre tive curiosidade de saber o que tem aqui dentro. No episódio anterior eu desci aqui no gás. Bom, vamos parar aqui. Acho que dá pra seguir, né? Então bora. Vamos ver o que tem aqui dentro. E lugar novo é assim, lugar novo a gente entra e vê o que tem dentro. Mais jade nuticuloso. Tem uns corlaps. Vamos ver o que tem lá pra dentro. Tem que vir pra cá. Não tô a fim de lutar. Não, 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 não. Cai não. Chegando. É, vai ser uma dungeonzinha, vamos lá. Bora com esses caras mesmo. O Zhongli, ó, tem uns caras congelados aqui, o petrificado, sei lá, ó.
Are these statues?
Eu não tenho o Zhongli ainda.
No. These are people.
Duh.
They were probably followers of the god of salt.
How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin?
Crumble!
Ué, não escala não?
Rise! Quake!
Eita, soltei nos lugares nada a ver. Vamos lá.
Crumble!
Boa. Olha lá.
Look at this. It's filled halfway with salt.
It just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the god of salt was a god lacking in treasures.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this as mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune.
Hey, how can you use a relic of the god of salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Kliment wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract agreed upon.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Bora seguir então. Pegamos mais o primeiro aqui. Tem uns bichinhos chatos ali pra gente matar, vamos lá.
Crumble. Quake. Order guide you.
Nossa, o cara é brabo, hein, mano. Isso aí. Zhongli é brabo, hein. Eu não tenho ele ainda. Pra mim tá sendo interessante testar ele. Aqui.
Quake.
Tem que criar um desse aqui, né? Óbvio. Foda é acertar o negócio. E agora, hein?
Rise.
Bom, eu vou criar um aqui. Vai fazer devagarzinho aqui, ó.
Quake.
E um aqui de boinha, sem estresse. Aqui eu posso pisar, não tem problema. Boa. Entrei, tem mais um tesourinho aqui. Vamos ver.
Just a simple ruler. Doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice.
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and
cara
organized
me
this
folgado.
entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy, here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you.
Putz, tomara que se lasque esse cara, mano.
Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock.
É, tomara que sofra mesmo.
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
Will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant.
Quake. Quake. I will have order.
Nossa! Mano, cadê pau nele?
I shall confiscate your treasure as well.
Se lascou. Perdeu o
You
tesouro.
are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Some
Esse cara vai aprontar ainda, mano.
archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long. Yeah, good thing Paimon can smell a liar from a mile away.
Climent's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, there are many other things that may tempt us to break contracts. When people see the object of their dreams, how many are really able to control their desire and follow the contract? I think we should be honest with each other now.
Huh? Be honest about what?
That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now that you mention it, the people of Liyue very seldom use the name Morax.
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. And its history is written as he wishes. So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart. We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must judge this history fairly.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liyue is no longer Morax's Liyue. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
Boa, vamos seguir aqui então. Por aqui.
Rise!
Eita. Cabaciei, galerinha. Eu não entendi ali não. Será que tem que fazer? Tem que subir no... Ah, é. Óbvio, né? Tem uma vacilada aqui. Deu uma de beginner.
Rise!
Constrói isso, sobe aqui. E vem pra cá. Easy. Pega o baúzinho. Boa. E aqui vamos ativar essas bagaças aqui, ó. Baú.
Quake!
Por que não estão ativos todos? Ah. Tem que ser todos juntos, tá vendo? Tem que ativar tudo junto, agora vem aqui e ativar.
Quake! Stabilize! Quake! Rise! Quake! Rise! This is order.
Toma! Mano, o especial dele é um dos mais da hora, hein, mano? Parece um meteoro no bagulho.
Rise! I will have order.
Toma! Toma!
Quake!
Boa! Vamos pegar aqui o tesourinho. Uma espada.
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the god of salt had to fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the god of salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in battle.
2 pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are two separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim one.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Kliment is no longer here.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take two relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure. How about you let this one slide, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take one half, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhongli!
That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The God of Salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing compared to that. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. But, as punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Lá vem verdade.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my punishment?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the seven.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Teyvat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then... this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the God of Salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the God of Salt.
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax. Don't try to trick me!
Correu.
Hey! Come back!
It is a punishment after all. I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. But the contract was broken. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to face the truth.
Are these statue thingies running? What will we find ahead?
Salt. And betrayal.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then.
Ih, lá vem verdade, hein?
This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time to this very day. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release.
But what about these statue thingies?
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where they sought refuge with Rex Lapis. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
Even if this is so, I can't. This must be a lie. A false history, all of it. Don't you dare try to shake my faith.
Yikes. Zhongli didn't show any mercy this time either.
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately. Indeed, in ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to me as well. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also. All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Guyanstone Forest?
Huh? What do you want to do, Zhongli?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances.
Completamos mais uma missão aqui, hein? Vamos abrir esse baú maneiro aqui. Aproveitar. Deixa eu ver se dá pra falar alguma coisa aqui. Não dá, não tem nada demais. Então bora. Então esse foi mais um vídeo, galera. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. A próxima missão nós faremos no próximo episódio. Deve ser a última parte aqui dessa missão lendária. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. Deixem um like, se inscrevam no canal e até o próximo vídeo. Valeu!